The WBC has declared that they will refuse to sanction a unification bout between Artur Beterbiev and Dmitry Bivol. Let's talk.
Push the weight in our flex. Flex the livest one in the section. With the runner boy, you nigga, no question. You will run a motherfucker high stepping. Hey, you never had a big enough weapon. Motherfucker never learned your lesson. I'm an 88 pack nigga. I'm an 88 pack nigga. I mean, day walker, drink blood, fangs out, full moon, motherfucker change like a hoe. Nigga, I'm just a nigga from the hood trying to stack a little cheddar for the money.
Drew Titan, Bronx on deck. Shout out to the mighty LDBC. This might take me a minute to unpack, man, and I might revisit this on the live. I don't know, but I saw this, and this one of the family sent me this, and I said, you know what? Let me cook on this for a second. First and foremost, what you're looking at right here is two undefeated fighters at 175. All right, you kind of see all four of the belts there. You see the WBA, the WBC, the IBF, and the WBO. Okay, one fight separates undisputed. Separates both these guys from undisputed. One fight. They are one fight away between each other. And the family sends me an article from what is this? Boxing Scene. I'll put the link in the description so you can read it yourself. It says Mauricio Sulaiman. He says Beterbiev Bivol would not involve the WBC title. We refuse to sanction the fight with Bivol. Why? Let us read. Mauricio Sulaiman, president of WBC, has revealed that his organization refused to sanction a potential undisputed fight between unbeaten light heavyweight champions Artur Beterbiev and Dmitry Bivol. Beterbiev holds the WBC, the IBF, and WBO titles, while Bivol holds the WBA. While both champions are Russian, Beterbiev has lived in Canada for several years. Bivol, on the other hand, is still a Russian national. The WBC has taken a hard line against Russian athletes because of Russia's ongoing military conflict with the Ukraine. Okay. Let me read on before I give you my opinion on Mauricio Sulaiman himself. The WBC cannot sanction a fight with Bivol in it. Sulaiman told As Kirdazo, I think, I'm sorry if I butchered the name. He told this to it looks like the Spanish outlet. He says, that is because of our position with Russia and the war with Ukraine. The WBC would not accept that fight. They won't accept that fight. Wow. The WBC is taking a hard stand on this, aren't they? Okay, let's read on. The camps for both champions had tried to reach an agreement earlier this year. Bivol, with his manager, Vadim Kornilov, sorry if I butchered that name, would later disclose that the offer was not good enough. In the event that Bivol and Beterbiev reach an agreement for a future fight, the WBC title will not be at stake. So it won't be for undisputed. They would just be fighting, which, in my opinion, it probably would make good for, as a fight for high drama. But if it's not for undisputed, what are they doing this for? So let me read on. He says, exactly, they would fight without the WBC belt, Sulaiman explained. As of today, that is the position of the WBC about that fight. As long as there is no boxing in the Ukraine, we will not accept boxing in Russia. At least not sanctioned by the WBC. Sulaiman insisted that Beterbiev must go through with his mandatory fight. At this moment, our ruling is that Beterbiev has to fight with his WBC mandatory rival, Caleb Smith. Doesn't that name sound familiar? That's what Sulaiman said. Caleb Smith. This is mandatory. No disrespect to Caleb, but you can't beat Beterbiev. And I thought, come on, guys. Well, let me finish reading this. I mean, this is an undisputed match. I mean, we're talking about mandatories. Whatever, man. Okay. As far as Bivol is concerned, he has several options in front of him. Last year, his status in the sport exploded when he shocked the world with a dominant 12-round decision over Mexican superstar Saul Canelo Alvarez. He followed that up with another dominating win, this time over mandatory challenger Gilberto Ramirez. Should Canelo win in May, Bivol may face him in the September rematch. That is an article. Here's my opinion. Okay, let me explain something to you guys. Do I need to remind you of who Mauricio Sulaiman is? All right, now watch this, y'all. Y'all might think you may know where I'm going to go. But watch this, y'all. I'm going to leave the Deontay Wilder situation out of it. All right? I'm going to talk about other things. Not necessarily in order, but other things. First of all, where do I begin? Oh, yes, the franchise status. This is a man that created a belt for Canelo Alvarez, whom I just mentioned, to duck Jamal Charlo, who was his mandatory. Okay, the franchise status is the WBC's fault. And not to be outdone, when it was Vasily Lomachenko's turn, another one popped up, which allowed Vasily Lomachenko to duck Devin Haney. We're going on about 3 years of that by now, 2-3 years ago now, okay? That fight should have been happened. We're getting it now, but there's no getting around it now. But Devin had to go around in circles, and Mauricio Sulaiman assisted in that because he thought Canelo was better for business. He thought Lomachenko was better for business. See what I'm doing here, people, is I'm painting a picture what kind of person Mauricio Sulaiman in the WBC is. As to why this doesn't make any sense, why he's doing this. Now, he's taking a stand on justice. I just gave you two forms of injustice. Let me give you another one. Conor Ben. Let me read to you something. WBC ruled on February 22nd that Ben's highly elevated consumption of eggs was a reasonable explanation for failed tests in October. It found no procedural failures and no conclusive evidence that Ben had intentionally ingested a banned substance of clomiphene. That was the WBC, ladies and gentlemen. They said eggs, we'll accept that. Eggs, y'all. That's the WBC. You want some more? I'll give you some more. Alejandra Jimenez. There you go. That dude. Yeah, him. Alejandro Jimenez. Remember when we was like, oh, wait a minute. Is that a woman or is that Jaime Munguia? And all we said was, yo, man, was she tested? When everyone was like, yo, not true. There were people bullying her. They were on Twitter. You know, the internet is undefeated. They're brutal. Oh, she like a man. She like a man. Oh, okay, guess what? That's not bullying. That's the look she was going for because she is a part of that community. That's the look she was going for. She wants to look like a man. So they were clowning. They said, oh, she look like a man. So it shouldn't hurt her no way. But when she entered the ring, we was like, wait a minute. She used to be very chunky and she lost all this weight. Now she got a 12-pack on her abs. I'm like, wait a minute. Everyone just said, yo, was she tested? That's all they said. His was his response right here. Alejandra Jimenez is being bullied and deprived of the most deserving moment of glory. All right, I'm reading this, y'all. She should be lauded and praised as the role model she is. He called her a role model, ladies and gentlemen. Instead, she finds herself having to defend her appearance and lifestyle. Wow. The false and completely unsubstantiated accusations hurled at our Jimenez offended the boxing community as well as society. But most importantly, Alejandra. The WBC remains proud of our champion, Alejandra Jimenez. We recognize her amazing accomplishments. We continue to stand by her through her glory. Wow. And what happened with Alejandra Jimenez? What happened with her? Do y'all remember? She popped. She popped. And how long did it take him to give Franchon Cruz Dezern her belt back? Put it in the comment section. He took his time with it. Did he apologize to the people not the bullies, but to the people that were just asking, yo, was she tested, man? It look kind of crazy to us. No, but we're stupid. So we got eggs from Conor Ben. We got, we were just bullying her. It had nothing to do with what we was asking. Okay? And again, I'm not even bringing up the Wilder situation. I can leave that alone. Y'all already know what time it is. I spoke to that man. Y'all can check my channel. I spoke to that man. Y'all can look at that. Let's leave that alone. Let's go here. There you go, Mauricio Sulaiman on the left. And who's that on the right? Wow. Wow. That is Daniel Kinahan. By now, you should know who that man is. Still at large. And when these pictures came up, we started to ask, what the hell are you doing over there with that guy? What are you doing? Do you know who that is? Let me read to you what he said. I am nobody to judge any person. And that has been the policy of our organization, to combat all types of discrimination and abuse of power before any person and group. That is why Daniel will have our full support in his quest to bring benefits to boxing. I traveled to be present at 2 functions promoted by a company called Probellum, he adds. The owner is Ali Shamspoor, a tycoon based in Dubai, who has a great passion for our sport and took on the task of putting together a wonderful team of collaborators led by Richard Schaefer, who was responsible for the creation of Golden Boy Promotions. This is highlighted. The work that Probellum is doing in coordination with MTK and Kinahan's plans could make Dubai one of the great meccas of boxing in the near future. He also was on record saying, I am not the police. I am not Interpol. I am judging Daniel based off of what he does now. And what did we find out about him later? $5 million sanction on this man's head. And this was his response later, Mauricio Sulaiman. Whilst visiting Dubai, I recently was introduced to Daniel Kinahan, who has since been placed on sanctions, on the sanctions list by the U.S. Treasury Department concerning alleged links to drug crimes. This has generated speculation and attacks on myself and the WBC. I therefore feel it necessary to make it clear that at no time have we had any relationship with Daniel Kinahan. Wow, isn't that a little different from what I just read to you a second ago? But we're stupid, right? What is that? So we're up to strike 3 already. And again, I'm not even mentioning Deontay Wilder at this point. And there's more stuff in between, but we ain't got to go there. We ain't got to go there. So why am I bringing all of this up? This right here. Mauricio, I don't know why you're acting like you're holier than thou, like you're high and mighty. At this point, you have the right to remain silent, because anything you say can and will be held against you in the court of public opinion. These 2 men are undefeated. These 2 men should have an undisputed matchup. You see all 4 belts in this picture. I see 2 great fights between the 2 of them. Not Canelo, not Caleb Smith. For you to stand in the way of this because you're taking a strong stand against Russia, get over it. You had no problem helping Canelo duck Jamal Charlo. You had no problem helping Vasily Lomachenko duck Devin Haney. You had no problem saying that Conor Ben popped because of eggs. You had no problem defending Alejandra Jimenez. You had no problem going over there hanging out with Daniel Kinahan when the people was telling you, what are you doing over there? That guy's bad news. And as soon as you tell us to go to hell, you're going to do what you want. Literally a week later, the U.S. put sanctions on his ass. And this is the latest thing you're doing. You're stopping this. You're not going to put your belt up. Ladies and gentlemen, let me bring this to your attention. Once Mauricio Sulaiman invented the franchise status, he devalued the real WBC strap. It's now officially a joke. Throw the green belt in the trash. It means nothing. They changed rules. The franchise status was invented. At first, it was a appointed position, like a trophy, and you can't lose it. Even if you lose, you can't lose it. Now, and it wasn't transferable. Now it's transferable. When he got on the barbershop on Fred's show and tried to explain it, I was watching that live. It still didn't make any damn sense. And all they could say was, look, it's just a great idea. Shut up, man. This is a joke. You're a joke. The green belt is a joke. Throw it in the trash. You know what? Bivol and Beterbiev, they just need to fight 2 times. And if they split, fight a 3rd time. Throw the green belt in the trash. Because in my mind, it will be for undisputed. And whoever walks away from it will be undisputed. The WBC's been trash. He took the value away from the real strap once he invented the franchise status. Every day it's an adventure with Mauricio Sulaiman and the WBC. Screw them. That's all I got to say about that. Y'all let me know what y'all think. Bronx on deck.
Move!